Detroit Lions 53-man roster is here, and there's multiple shocking cuts. You saw my short yesterday on the couple of cuts that happened, but the now official 53-man roster is here, and there's a lot of surprise moves. Some of them I like, some of them I absolutely don't like. So, starting off at quarterback, the Lions decided to keep two. I have seen this list, by the way. I'm pretty sure every Lions fan has seen this list. So we keep two. Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker. Missing the cut, Nate Sudfeld and Jake Fromm. Nate Sudfeld's time as a Detroit Lion looks like it is coming to an end. He did not get waived. From what I'm understanding, for you to get waived, you have to be played 4 years or less in the NFL. If you've played 4 years or more in the NFL, you have to be released, which means you don't go through the waiver process. But usually when players get released, they don't come back to the practice squad. So it looks like Nate Sudfeld's time as a Detroit Lion officially comes to an end. And this shocks me a little bit that Nate Sudfeld will not be on this team, specifically the 53-man roster, because Dan Campbell said in one of his press conferences that there's a good chance they would keep three quarterbacks. And evidently that's not the case, at least right now. I still think there's a chance we could sign a guy like a Ryan Tannehill. There wasn't very many free agent quarterbacks who got released today in the cut down process from which I know. And I think I saw Desmond Ridder got released, but I don't really want him. I want more of a veteran who can teach Hooker. Ritter's not on that. He's probably on the same level of Hooker, not worse. But we roll a two. I don't mind it at all. I actually like that. I didn't want to keep Sudfeld, obviously, but that's just what I thought the Lions were going to do. Now, running back here. We decided to keep four. We keep David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Craig Reynolds, and Sione Vaki. Missing the cut, Jamar Jefferson, Zonovan Knight, and Jake Funk. Obvious. There was some potential that we could have kept five running backs on the 53-man roster. I just didn't see that being the case whatsoever. One of those guys will at least go on the practice squad. Probably two of them, honestly. But that's the right decision. There's no questions about that. I hope Jamar and Zonovan goes on the practice squad. Wouldn't be mad if Funk made the practice squad, but yeah, that I am completely fine with. Receiver, we decided to keep four. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, and Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams is the first UDFA to make the Detroit Lions 53-man roster right now. Missing the cut, Donovan Peoples-Jones. We knew that yesterday. Darius Fountain got cut a couple hours earlier before this roster came out. Caden Davis, we saw that yesterday. Maurice Alexander, Tom Kennedy, and Jalen Calhoun. No shockers here, except for the fact yesterday I thought that Caden Davis and Donovan Peoples-Jones had a shot to make this team, but they both got cut yesterday. There's no way Maurice Alexander, Tom Kennedy, or Jalen Calhoun is making this roster. So we pretty much knew this was going to be the four receivers today. Completely fine with that. Isaiah Williams definitely deserves to be on the team. And again, sucks for DPJ. Hopefully he'll find a home somewhere else. I think he will. Some people are saying we could sign him to the practice squad. He is not going to go to our practice squad. He will not stick on the practice squad. Even though he's had a couple down years now, he will just not stick on the practice squad. He's too good a receiver to stick on the practice squad. Now, moving on to tight end, we decided to keep three. Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and Parker Hess. Missing the cut, James Mitchell, Shane Zylstra, and Sean McKeon. A little bit of a shocker here. Parker Hess was my 54th guy on my 53-man roster prediction, so he just missed it. I was one over, so Parker Hess was the one who had to go. James Mitchell got cut today. Actually, no, I think he got cut on cut downs. Shane Zylstra, we knew that yesterday, and Sean McKeon happened on cut down right before they announced it. But yeah, so Parker Hess, I don't really know what we're doing in the tight end position. I thought we were going to keep Zylstra. We don't have a pure tight end who's known for receiving the ball. Laporta is about 50-50. He's known 50% for catching, 50% for blocking. Wright is known for like 90% blocking, 10% catching, and Parker Hess is 100% known for blocking. He's probably going to play fullback for us, so I do expect us to potentially bring back a tight end or sign a tight end who got released today. I don't know. CJ Uzama's out there. I wouldn't be mad if we signed him. But I don't know how I feel about that. If we would have kept four tight ends and Parker Hess was one of them, I would have been fine with it. But Parker Hess is a third-string tight end. I don't really know how I feel about that. I just would have liked more of a receiving tight end, if that makes sense. Now, there we go. I was going to say, where was the offensive line? We keep 10 offensive linemen. Panay Sewell, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, Kevin Zeitler. Dan Skipper finally makes the initial Lions 53-man roster. Congrats to Skip. It's well-deserved. Colby Sorsdahl makes it. Giovanni Manu, Kaoto Wosaka, and Michael Neese makes it. Missing the cut, my guy Kingsley Ekukan, Brian Hudson, Jake Burton, Jamarco Jones, and Duke Clemens with Christian Mahogany on the NFI list. Couple shockers here. I didn't have Colby Sorsdahl making it. And I didn't have Michael Neese making it. I did have KO'd making it once I knew Mahogany was placed on the NFI yesterday. But I'm not really comfortable with this. I'm not. If we were going to keep 10 defensive linemen, you should have took out Michael Neese and put in Kingsley Ekukan. That's all I'm saying. I did not see enough from Michael Neese, enough good things to have him. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely confident with him on the 53-man roster. I'm just not. Practice squad, yes, I'm fine with that 100%. 53-man, keeping an extra offensive lineman. If you were going to do that, it needed to be Kingsley. So I don't agree with that one, but Kingsley will go on the practice squad. And, yeah. Kingsley, Brian Hudson, and Jake Burton, and I think Duke Clemens all got waived, so they all have the chance. I mean, everybody does, but they have more of a chance to go to the practice squad than the players that just got released. So I don't hate that, but I would have chose Kingsley over Michael Neese if we were keeping an extra offensive lineman, which we did. Defensive end, or defensive line, we keep 9. We keep Hutch, Marcus Davenport, DJ Reader, Ali McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Pascal, Mekhi Wingo, John Kaminsky, and James the Problem Houston. And evidently, Broderick Martin has a somewhat serious injury as he is getting placed on injured reserve. So he will miss the first 4 games of the season. Don't know what's going on here. Missing the cut. Isaac Unkwu, Kyle Pecco, that one's shocking to me. Matthew Betts, Chris Smith, and Pat O'Connor. We knew that one yesterday. He will go to the practice squad if he passes through. Or if he doesn't get picked up by any other team, he'll get placed on the practice squad tomorrow because the Lions have only want him back. And waived to injured David Bada. But Broderick Martin, he is going to be out for the first 4 games of the season. That sucks. I'm going to be honest, it really does. And the fact that Kyle Pecco is not on this team is concerning. So, we went from having 6 defensive tackles making the 53-man roster about a lock just 2 days ago to now only having 4 on the 53-man roster to start the season as of right now. I think we're going to add a guy, John Kaminsky. I don't know why he hasn't been placed on IR. Evidently, there's new rules in the NFL where you can't place multiple players on IR that can return before the season or something like that. I don't know what that's about. It's a completely new rule. So the Lions, I've heard that they will place John Kaminsky on IR tomorrow, which will open up a roster spot, which that roster spot would probably go to Kyle Pico, which I've been hearing. So Kyle Pecco would be back on the team on the 53-man roster in that case scenario tomorrow, which then this is fine. But, yeah, this list is completely fine. I would have liked to see Isaac Unkwu potentially make the roster, but I'm not as big of a believer in Isaac Unkwu as a lot of other Lions fans are. I think he's very limited in his pass rush ability. I don't think he was dominating. Okay, this is a perfect example to me. Isaac Unkwu from this year in preseason and Julian Okwara from last year in preseason. Who did better? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Julian Okwara, no doubt about it, in my opinion. They have both had the same amount of sacks with 3. Julian Okwara was consistently every play getting pressure. Isaac Unkwu was not. Isaac Unkwu was getting manhandled sometimes. Just there was those couple of times that he was winning and getting the sacks. But Julian Okwara, last year in the preseason, he was winning his matchup about 60, 65, maybe even 70% of the time. Isaac Onkwo is only winning his matchup probably about 20% of the time. 25 maybe. So, again, I'm not mad that Isaac Onkwo didn't make it. I'm a little bit surprised Kyle Pecco didn't make it because he didn't play a preseason game. That's why I thought for sure he was a lock to make it. I'm not mad at it, but just a little bit surprised. Moving on to, I believe, linebacker. Yes, we keep 6. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves-Maben, and Ben Neiman. Missing the cut, Mitchell Aguado, Abraham Beauplan, Joel Ayubanue, and Ty Summers. We knew about Ty Summers yesterday and Aguado yesterday. Pretty obvious here. Ben Neiman, I thought for sure was going to make it once I saw Ty Summers got waived. Evidently, the Lions do want Bayou playing back, so once he goes through waivers, if he does go through waivers, I don't know if he will. I thought he had a very good preseason. But if he does go through waivers, he will most likely come back to the practice squad, as I heard the Lions do want him back. So, but I'm 100% fine with that linebacker room. But it looks like Ty Summers' era, small time as a Detroit Lion, is going to come to an end, as it does not look like he will be placed on the practice squad. So that kind of sucks. But we do keep Ben Neiman to be the Anthony Pittman replacement for this year. And Bill Plain will most likely go on the practice squad to be a reserve depth type player, which I really like. Now, moving on to defensive backs. We keep 11. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Enes Rakestra, Kendall Vildor, Khalil Dorsey, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Afatu Malafanu. So it looks like he... Now, I heard rumors that Afatu Malafanu was going to get placed on IR, and if that's the case, we will have 2 more roster spots open within the next week, most likely, which that would leave a total of 3 spots, because we already had 1 roster spot open, because we only have 52 players on the roster right now, so we're going to make a move. We actually signed a player today. I will make a video about him, kind of a bigger player as well. So I will make a video about him, but we will have 2 more roster spots open as well if Fatu Malafanu and John Kaminsky get placed on IR. So there's going to be some moves made on this team, and hopefully bigger moves, obviously, to get us to that Super Bowl that we've been looking for. And Brandon Joseph and Loren Strickland also make it. Brandon Joseph, not a surprise, but Loren Strickland is for sure a prize. I liked what Loren Strickland did into the preseason, but did he need to make the 53-man roster? Absolutely not. That extra roster spot could have went to Shane Zylstra. It could have went to Kingsley Ekukan. Could have went to Jake Fromm. So don't really agree with that. He has potential. I did like what I saw from him in preseason, but he was more of a practice squad guy to me. He would have cleared through waivers and gone to our practice squad. That's what I valued him as. I don't understand why we kept 5 safeties and one of them being Loren Strickland. If we were going to keep a safety on the 53-man roster, 5th safety, it would have been C.J. Moore, in my opinion. But, yeah. Missing the cut, C.J. Moore, Stephen Gilmore, Asang Bassi, Javelin Gertie, Sheelan Garnes, and Rashad Wildgoose. No surprises there. Maybe Stephen Gilmore is a surprise to some people. I don't think so. I thought he had a very bad preseason. So his time as a Detroit Lion is most likely going to come to an end. Now, if he does pass through waivers, I don't think he will. But if he does pass through waivers, he will most likely go back to our practice squad, and we'll continue to develop him to potentially have a role in the future. Special teams. We keep 3, obviously. We keep Jake Bates, Jack Fox, Hogan Hatton, and we cut Scott Daly. We knew we cut Scott Daly yesterday, so we knew that was going to be the case. So we have 1 roster spot open currently right now, and potentially we'll have 1 or 2 more roster spots open within the next couple of days here. And my question is to you, are you fine with this 53-man roster? Do you agree with it? For the somewhat, I do. For some of it, I don't. I don't agree with keeping Loren Strickland on the 53-man. I don't agree with keeping... what was the guy? Michael Neese. I don't agree with keeping him. And if I was going to keep Parker Hess, I was going to have another tight end, whether that was Mitchell or Zylstra on the roster as well. So there's a couple things I disagree with, but for the most part, I agree with it. A lot of people thought James Houston didn't deserve to make it. A lot thought he did. I was kind of torn. What I'm doing with James Houston, I'm glad he made the 53-man roster. I'm going to give him a couple games to try to do something. If he does nothing, if he does absolutely nothing, then he will be waived. That's my opinion. You give him a couple games, a couple of games to start the season. If he doesn't play well, then you release him and find a new edge rusher or sign Isaac Onkwit, whatever you want to do. Now, the practice squad is still not set. That will be set tomorrow at, I believe, 12 o'clock Central Time. So we'll see that tomorrow. We do have one person on our practice squad that is announced. It was the player we signed today. And also we will potentially be having two more in Pat O'Connor and Bo Plan, as the Lions reportedly do want them back on the practice squad. So, one pride, go Lions. 53-man roster is finally here. Do you think the Lions need to add players, and who would it be? Is it receiver, defensive end? Leave your thoughts, comments down below. And also, I want you guys to answer this. Did James Houston deserve to make this team? One pride, go Lions.